anchored by the performance and reliability of the Civic and Accord, Honda has once again been named the best car brand for the 4th year running by U.S. News & World Report. Come see the lineup of award-winning Hondas at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda on Segan Lane.
Welcome to it, everybody. 9 News Now, WAFB Plus on the Monday after. We were talking earlier about being, everybody's kind of tired on a Monday, but maybe even more so after. How much of the game did you go to the halftime?
I started winding down in the third quarter.
Okay.
It looked like it wasn't going to happen for the Chiefs, and I was pulling for the Chiefs. So I'm like, let me go to bed. But it was a good experience, the whole thing.
I stayed through halftime to the halftime show. I mean, the pregame show was awesome. So much, all the highlighting of just Louisiana culture was so good, and then the game was all Eagles. You watched the whole thing?
I watched the whole thing.
Look at you.
Gosh.
On Sunday night I can't sleep. I just
Yeah,
can't. So I watched the whole thing. You didn't miss anything. If you turned it off after the halftime show, you didn't miss anything in the second half.
Well, look, the Eagles aren't your team, but there were some points of pride. Members of the team, you guys went to the same alma mater.
Yeah, 2 of them. Saquon Barkley, Penn State, and Jahan Dotson, Penn State. So I was rooting for Philadelphia, and they didn't disappoint.
Oh, my God.
Man.
The
That
Chiefs
was so
just didn't
insane.
look like they were ready to play.
They didn't. They looked like they were hanging out, having a good time instead of practicing.
Yeah.
Well, it's all that three-peat conversation that the Eagles are like,
The hype.
not today.
Yeah, but the 2 weeks prior and then the weekend of, New Orleans blows it out the water.
And that's the thing that we're hearing from everybody on social media and all the visitors alike. New Orleans is such a great city because Matt's mentioned this many times. It's such a walkable city.
Yes.
From the actual Superdome to the French Quarter, just everywhere you
Where you
need to
wanna
go.
be.
Yes.
And the weather was so good
Yeah,
this weekend.
and that's why I think New Orleans is always going to be such a great venue for this, because you can walk to everywhere that's good. A lot of cities aren't like that. In Texas, Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, they're all spread out.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes an hour to drive across the
Like
city.
Miami.
Yeah, like Miami.
That's a great spot,
But like you said, walking from South Beach to wherever they are at the stadium.
Oh, forget you can't do
walk.
that.
You can't walk. Yeah, no, not
Yeah,
from
you can't
South
walk.
Beach.
It's a 30-minute drive.
Right.
But I vote for New Orleans as the permanent city for all future Super Bowls.
It should definitely get more frequency than any other city. I really do think so.
It was for a very long time of the city of New Orleans, and this is pre-Superdome when they were hosting it at Tulane. A lot of folks don't know that Tulane is a bigger stadium than the Dome. That's that 80,000 people.
Oh. Yeah.
And so you think pre-Dome, and there was a reason it was there, not just because of that 80,000 person stadium, because of what was surrounding that stadium, New Orleans.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't a permanent rotation. But now there's so many more cities that want in on that, and the NFL tries to do a good job with it. Where are they next time? So far, they're in San Francisco?
Somewhere in California.
Next.
I thought it was L.A.
Next.
Is it San
LA?
Francisco?
I don't know.
God.
So they're trying to get, they try to get the newer stadiums in there in as many cities as they can. But New Orleans is a spot.
It's been cool to watch. So obviously we had tons of media in the New Orleans area, Radio Row, everyone's in. But a lot of the Philadelphia stations, their local news stations were in town, and they had one camp set up at the Louis Armstrong International Airport. So cool. And the reporters interviewing a family, a little boy, probably 9 years old, real quiet. Little Johnny and his family are here, real quiet. As she introduces him, he didn't say much, and she's like, "So in the commercial break, you told me you had a chant," and then he fires up and he goes, "It took the Avengers 2 times to beat Thanos, and that's what the Eagles," and then he erupts, and he's got the family, he's got the other fans who came off that flight.
Entire airport's
they're
all
all going at it, but you wouldn't have expected it in the first pre-interview, the first 10 seconds of it. It was so good.
That was his poker face.
It
right there.
was. You did not expect it.
And you guys brought it up the other day. I loved it. Seeing all these great events and all these famous people in places that we hit up all the time. We saw the NFL at the Sanger.
Yeah.
I was at Sanger a couple weeks ago.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
And like all the restaurants, like, oh, sure, been there. It's just neat to know that, sometimes we take that stuff for granted because it's right there, but then seeing it highlighted in such a way and people enjoying themselves, and it looks like right now that it has been a very big success, no major issues, and so South Louisiana comes off, smelling like roses, which is something to be said for what Bourbon Street can sometimes smell.
Oh, speaking of, did you see Fox Sports laid down that long purple carpet on Bourbon?
Yeah.
What do they do with that after?
Right.
I really hope no one's trying to save that. I don't know what it smells like today.
No.
We got questions.
You can break out a couple of shop facts on that. But I'll tell you, in all seriousness, I saw on social media a lot of celebrities were talking about how great the food was. Everybody was blown away, and I would say it might be the best city in the country just from a food standpoint alone. I really think that.
It's just so much.
You start with the roux and bacon grease,
Come on, which in turn will hopefully mean more of the visitors will come back and visit the Big Easy
Hopefully
again.
that's the idea. Even a bad spot is greater than most. So, you know, if you're not going into work today, we understand why. It was a big celebration of all things South Louisiana, and we showed up pretty well.
I think Governor Landry gave you a pass.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's
Maybe
free pass.
Cite him when your boss comes
Call the
calling.
gov.
All right, cool. We'll get a comp day on this one.
Well, there's the big building. Speaking of the state capitol, how are we doing out there?
Our typical fog measuring stick, the Louisiana Capitol, and we're doing great. We're fog free over here. Matter of fact, we really haven't had to deal with much throughout the morning. The dense fog advisory is just to the deep south and eastern part of the area towards New Orleans, but even out there, it's not bad. Finally, BTR, they're reporting, they're up and running, and the temperature looks accurate, 58 degrees. We've got that on our bug in the corner of the screen as well. We're going to stay mainly cloudy today, tonight, tomorrow. Stray shower possible, but you don't need to really bring the rain gear, although as we go through midweek, the chance of rain goes steadily up. It all really culminates on Wednesday. Then the question will become, will we see any severe weather on Wednesday? We'll talk about that as well. There you see the dense fog advisory has been scaled all the way down to the deep south part of the state. Places like Houma, places like New Orleans, and Houma right now 1 mile visibility, but now even New Orleans looking good. So fog was never really too big of a concern this morning. Other than that, we do have a couple of light, what I would call nuisance showers on radar. Right up the I-55 between Hammond, LaPlace, going around to the south side of the lakes, and really missing Baton Rouge. We're going to leave in about a 10% chance for today. And there you see the graph model. They're going to keep us clouded in throughout the day. Their temperatures go to the upper 60s. I think we get a little bit warmer than that to the low 70s. Then we fast forward to Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning, we're still quiet, but then by the time we get to Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening, we'll start to ramp up the chance for showers and storms. And then it really seems to ramp up as we get to Wednesday, because that's the time when this stalled out front will basically become unlocked. It'll turn into the cold front, and then that cold front will press on through Wednesday night into Thursday morning. The question will become, will we see any severe weather during that time? And right now there is a level 1 marginal risk for strong to severe thunderstorms. That would be Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday evening. By Thursday morning, the threat would be gone. And I would say the primary risk would be strong gusty winds, but right now it seems like a very low threat. The farther north you go over the next few days, the chance of rain goes up and the amounts go up as well. But for today, as I mentioned, I don't think you need the rain gear for today. We're around a 10% chance and a high of 72, so we're not going to be quite that warm. Then mild and muggy for tonight, overnight low 62. The moon big and bright in the sky. Not a full moon yet. That's going to come in 2 days from now. The 10-day forecast, I know we talk about roller coaster temperatures a lot this time of year, but that's the best way to describe this, because 70s today, back to the 80s Tuesday, Wednesday, all the way down to the 60s Thursday and Valentine's Day. Then we'll get a quick pop-up in temperature again on Saturday just to drop it off again. So really just keep kind of all those wardrobes ready to rock and roll. 7:10 out your door. Johnny A., how are the roads?
I was teasing you earlier about the formal definition of that moon is a snow moon. You have to tell us what that means coming up in just a few minutes. No. A couple of things. We had some backups on LA1 and on I-10 eastbound due to an earlier wreck with a lane closure right near the Dalrymple area. That just cleared, so that's going to get a little bit better. We're definitely seeing an improvement in traffic there as you make your way out of the downtown area. There's a live look at the Dalrymple camera, and all of that's cleared up, and our backups are starting to move through there as well, right near the Laurie Burgess Avenue exit. Take you out to Central. Overnight wreck about 1:30 in the morning. It was a major wreck. One person transported in critical condition. They're still doing an accident investigation, and they've temporarily closed Hooper Road at Shoe Creek Road this morning. And look what's happening in Kenner. We expected this. All of the exits, Williams Boulevard, Loyola, some on the Veterans Boulevard exit. We're seeing a lot of traffic on the interstate trying to get to and from the airport or to the airport after the week-long experience here in New Orleans. So do be aware of that. There is one wreck on I-10 eastbound right before you jump off the Bonacary Spillway, so be aware of that as well. If you know anyone that's kind of trying to get to the airport in New Orleans, give them a call. 7:12, it is WAFB 9 News Now. We do it on the Plus every morning, little after 12, little after 7, and then 3:30 in the afternoon. We'll be right back.
Hey, before you get going, a couple things. This just coming into our newsroom this morning, an officer-involved shooting, a deadly one now being investigated by Louisiana State Police.
In fact, the Ascension Parish Sheriff's Office called in LSP's Bureau of Investigations to handle this, which is typical here. It's under a memorandum of understanding. You can see it happen here kind of near the corner of West Oris Roth Road and South Burnside Avenue. We're told this happened right around 1 a.m. We're told one person was killed, but aside from that, we don't have much more information. LSP is looking for any photo or video that can help. You can always call that into Crime Stoppers.
Real quick as well, in Baton Rouge, a couple of shootings, including this deadly one. Liz, you can see the coroner's van there. This is right along Jackson Avenue, about 8:30 Sunday night.
Around the same time, we're told that another separate shooting happened near North 39th Street. This was right after 8 p.m. Now, that one was not deadly. We're told that victim was taken to a hospital to be treated. But in this case as well, police are looking for tips to help them further the investigation.
We'll let you know. We'll keep you updated. Make a phone call to Crime Stoppers if you can help them out, get them going in that right direction. Again, we'll keep you updated on air, online, as we kind of go through all of that. Busy weekend. Ooh. So hopefully the week goes off without a hitch. It's a changing forecast. It's one of those things where Jared says keep all the clothes handy.
Yeah, I mean, back and forth. 70s today, 80s tomorrow, 60s the end of the week. It just cools down, goes warm again.
Umbrella.
Snow moon?
Oh, God.
Snow moon, 2 days. That's just the name that the Native Americans gave it because of the time of year. Usually represents snow. Not going to snow here.
Good news we needed.
From the sportiness of the Mazda MX-5 to the engaging ride of the Mazda CX-5 to the luxury of the Mazda CX-90. Move and be moved in your new Mazda while saving thousands at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.